Now, I don't really put two leak videos back to back. It's just not my role. I put leak videos, yes, and maybe speculation, maybe back to back, but I don't put two leak legitimate videos right next to each other. I try to smooth it out a little bit. That's really how my style goes, guys. So please, again, this isn't really my style, but after the success that subclass video did a couple weeks back, and a lot of you guys saying to go and do this other huge leak that Destiny2Leaks put out there and put a paste bin for, going into the story and Vapor, if that is the next subclass, a lot of people really want me to talk about this leak. And again, take it with a grain of salt. Just saying, like, again, we don't have any confirmation whatsoever. It's just I trust Destiny2Leaks a bit better than other sources, like I trust Ginzer back in the day, and they're usually somewhat correct about these things. And again, we have nothing really until the 24th, so that's 23rd, I mean, so that's like 11 days. So we gotta get our hype boiling until they reveal more stuff with Arc 3.0 and with Lightfall and all that. So why not we just do what we did last year before the Witch Queen showcase and get hyped up? And that's what I want to do for this video. And I want to talk about Vapor. And she did put a paste bin leak, and that paste bin leak also had some stuff with the story, but she did clear up some stuff in the Discord with it, so I haven't really was 100% with the whole story type thing. So I really want to focus on the subclass for today's video, and maybe at the end we can go into what she said with the story and stuff like that, just so you know. But yeah, guys, hope you guys do enjoy. Again, subscribe. Only 11% of you guys do subscribe to my videos. And again, I thank you for going up. You know, it was at 5% a couple weeks back, so it's going up. I appreciate all the support recently and everything that the channel has been going through. It's awesome how we're grinding up to almost 14,000. So please be sure to hit that big red sub button if you haven't already. That would mean a lot. So let's get into this paste bin link. So of course, Vapor has been the key word. I think a lot of people has put it out there. Of course, Poison was when Beyond Light was after Beyond Light was released. Vapor, Corruption, and then when Witch Queen released, Vapor, Corruption again with Oscar's Trigger. It's been like the word. And Vapor has been getting a bit more popular than ever, because that was in the previous leak that leaked all Witch Queen, that was correct. And then when Bungie said they were going to take more time with this other subclass and confirm it's coming out sometime in either Lightfall or the Final Shape, and then with one of the D2 artists from ArtStation showed a clip using a green UI, subclass, and they said it wasn't like a colorblind system, it was actually that, and then a new super icon from Bungie themselves, and then they took it down. So there's a lot of hype between this next green subclass, which I think it will be the color of this other subclass, Vapor. So this is what the paste bin had to say on the subclass area. So officially known as the Strand. So remember, Vapor I wouldn't expect to be the name. Similar to how Stasis was in the name of our supers, it was the ability. So we could see Vapor be like that, and then of course the Titan, Warlock, and Hunter super could be a different name. But other than that, the Strand is a subclasses based on the idea of flow of life and death, strings of fate type of deal. Still green, which I believe will be green. I think a lot of people believe it will be green, and I love that. And there may be a poison aspect to the subclass, but it would be only one of the keywords. Now, yeah, with Stasis, of course, there was Freeze, Shatter. You could see Corruption or Poison or SoulFire, whatever you guys think about this next subclass, being a aspect to it. Being something in one of those three areas with the grenades or something like that. I wouldn't expect the subclass itself entirely to be based on poison. Now, could we expect a little model of it to be used in the grenade or the melee or some type of ability? Absolutely, and I feel like they really want to do that, because then they could mix Oscar's Trigger and Thorn to that ability in the future. So, Strand abilities, not too much to go off of, she says. So again, I feel like there wasn't really a lot to say at the time when they were planning the abilities. Probably maybe one of the reasons why they wanted, of course, to go to the light subclasses this year, and they wanted to focus on them again to help out the, aspect and fragments with those light subclasses, and then move on to a new one. So again, just take these all with a grain of salt. Bungie was working on a grappling hook type of idea, but it may have been scrapped, may have not, or may have, we don't know yet, so they could be still working on it. Also, something about summoning. I would be more descriptive if I had information. This subclass is based more on movement and transversal. So, with that idea, let's start off from the beginning. Grappling hook idea. Now, I talked to my awesome friend, Taco, who said that the grappling hook idea would just not work in PvP. And again, the grappling hook idea might have to be a scrapped idea. It is very interesting if you really think about it, but it is, again, they have to keep the whole PvP base of players, in a somewhat balanced area. And again, stasis just broke the game, and whenever a new subclass comes out, it's always going to break the game. I think you can't really prevent that at all, because then if you don't make it good, at least at launch, everyone's just going to say it needs a buff, and then there you go. So I don't feel like this next subclass is going to be bad, and it'd probably be a bit more overpowered than it would, but I don't think grappling hook as a idea in PvP at all, because it just sounds way too much in my opinion. And I want to know you guys' thoughts on a grappling hook idea, but that's something that, again, I don't really see happening, and I feel like that is a scrapped idea. Maybe you could add an aspect to it, but I'm not really sure with the whole movement with that. Something to look towards. But another thing that she said was summoning. Now, summoning was a phrase to be used with poison or necromancing, hive magic type thing back before Witch Queen release, and we thought that poison was going to be the main subclass, and that really summoning for the warlock would be a really cool aspect to it. And a lot of people said, wouldn't it be cool for a warlock to summon a thrall, to summon a ogre or something? And yeah, that does sound really awesome for a warlock, because I feel like the warlock necromancer type deal is an awesome idea. It wouldn't really work in PvP, and it wouldn't really work, in the game entirely, because, they would have to make a lot of adjustments towards it in other modes. But the summoning idea is very interesting that I feel like they would planning on. Maybe summoning crystals or summoning, poison or summon. It doesn't really, because we don't really know what it means when it just says summoning. It could be summoning an enemy, or it could be summoning an ability, or anything, or a combatant. We don't really know. So the summoning idea is something very interesting. But again, you got to put Crucible in that type of scenario, because if warlocks could summon a thrall and they could do that in Crucible, it wouldn't be called PvP anymore, guys. It would be like PvP, PvE, Gambit type style, because there would be combatants in a Crucible game. So there is things right there to be aware of, and again, you can't put the Crucible, on front and center with these abilities, because again, you have PvE, and PvE is a more of a majority of this game, so you have to keep that in mind. So yeah, something to look at, guys. So the subclass is based more on movement and transversal. Now we know that Arc 3.0 will be something similar to that, as of course it's with quickness, but it's also with, of course, movement and type things. So we could see some of the aspects from Arc 3.0 maybe linked to this other subclass. Remember, Arc 3.0 is the last one to get its 3.0 treatment. I could see them do a lot of ideas with it, and maybe using some of the ideas from Arc 3.0 to the next subclass. Because remember, you have Season 18, of course, Arc 3.0. Then you have that whole other season, Season 19, and then, of course, that wait till Lightfall. So you have a while, like, if you calculate, like, 6 months after Arc 3.0 releases. You could definitely work and look at all the Solar 3.0, Void 3.0, and Arc 3.0 feedback adjustments and try to mix it in, and in making a new subclass entirely, and then you could put that in there for what this Vapor subclass will be. Or I should say, the Strand. Strand is a very interesting name, though. The flow of life and death is kind of like a balance, but I'm very interested in what, this means, this whole fate, life and death, strings of type of deal. So it would be a very interesting, type of subclass to look at, because it's not poison, but it's more like some kind of mixed in there. It's like, what if we got poison in a way, but we also got an entire new type of flow of life and death subclass, and you mix it together? That's what I really think of the Strand subclass. But I'm not really sure how I feel about it entirely, because again, we don't have really a lot of information. If I said stasis and then freeze, I think that gives, a more, it's an easier simplification for this. And for a darkness subclass like this, the flow of life and death, it's a bit harder to say what it really will be, and if it is hive magic, or if it's really something entirely different and a different form of the darkness, And again, Egregore was something hinted at being a unpure version of it. And then of course Savathûn coming back to teach us this type of power was also hinted at. So again, there's a lot of things in play here, and I really want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. I don't have really a huge understatement on this because I just don't know what it really will be at this point. I'm very interested to see what it is, but we don't really know. And I hopefully once we get closer to the showcase and Lightfall that they reveal this new subclass. And then once we find out what it is, we can finally be like, oh my god, it's finally happening. You know what I mean? If we don't get a new subclass in Lightfall, I'm going to be kind of saddened by that fact, but I don't think that will be the case. I feel like they delaying it in Witch Queen was a good move, so they can give it to us in Lightfall in a much more, better sense, because if they release it with Witch Queen, of course all the light subclasses wouldn't be the way that they are right now, and they're really good. And then of course if they revealed in Witch Queen, you don't know if it would have been the best it would be. So giving it a while is a really good choice, but I don't think they're going to push it back all the way to the final shape, as they might develop another one for the final shape to end off the saga with 3 light and 3 darkness subclasses. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you guys did, then please subscribe and like, because that means a lot to the channel. And other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks, guys.